Hi, I'm Jim Bearden, and this is Leadership at the Points of Contact, a series of short videos that I've developed to help you enhance, improve your leadership skills. In this section of the program, we're looking at one of the key roles that leaders play in organizational settings, and that is to consciously create a culture, specifically a culture that would reinforce and support behavior essential to both individual and organizational success. We've gone further and defined it as a hero-friendly culture. In the previous 4 lessons, we have looked at specific steps that leaders take in their efforts to do just that, to consciously create the culture. The first step is to ensure that others understand what you expect. And in that lesson, we looked at what are some specific situations where their behavior is especially important and what exactly do you expect from them in that situation. The second step is to identify and eliminate barriers to their behaving in the ways you expect. 3 was to model that behavior for them, to show them what the behavior you expect from them looks like. And we agreed in that lesson that what they see from you is what you can expect to get from them. And then in the 4th lesson, the last lesson, we talked about the importance of measuring their performance using your expectations as the standard. When you measure their performance, observe firsthand the things they're doing, you will give yourself opportunities to provide them with timely, appropriate feedback, and one form of that feedback is the 5th step in our process, and that is to honor efforts and progress they make to meet your expectations. I want you to stop right here if you have to, take out a pen and write down these 2 words, efforts and progress. Honoring efforts and progress is a key step to creating the kind of culture that you're looking to create. Now let's look at a sequence here, and it'll kind of bring this honoring efforts and progress into a better perspective. The sequence is quality of effort, which leads to quality of performance, which leads to quality of results. Make sense? I mean, that sequence is alive and well. And where other people's behavior or their performance is concerned, that sequence most definitely comes into play. Quality of their efforts. The effort they make to meet your expectation, the energy they put into it, their willingness to take the risk. We discussed in an earlier lesson the risk of performing poorly. Quality of effort is essential, and it precedes quality of performance. Quality of performance, proficiency we might call it, is going to build progressively. But would you agree that in the absence of quality effort, in the absence of good faith effort to meet your expectations where these new behaviors may be concerned, there can be little expectation about the improvement of the quality of their performance. Quality effort, quality performance ultimately leads to quality results. In the early stages of measuring, in the early stages of providing feedback, your focus really needs to be more on the quality of the effort than it is on the quality of the performance. Here's a takeaway from this lesson. Don't blow smoke. Now just think about that for a minute. We've heard that phrase a lot, and we all probably interpret it in a similar way. Don't say something that is not the truth. And in this case, don't blow smoke means don't tell them they're doing a good job if they're not. Now think about this. If the behavior you expect is relatively new for them, either it's a new activity or a new technique for performing the old activity, if it's new for them, they're not going to be nearly as proficient early on as they might ultimately be. But if, true to my suggestions, you're doing a great job of getting out and measuring their performance and providing them with feedback early on, one of the biggest mistakes you can make, my friend, is to tell them they're doing a good job when they're not. Because guess what? They know they're not doing a good job, all right? And if you tell them they are and they know they're not, what does that do to your credibility as a leader? It undermines it. No, what you need to do at this stage regardless of the quality of their performance, is to honor what? What are the two things? You wrote them down: efforts and progress. You might say something like, I want you to know how much I admire the courage it takes to try something new, something that you're doing. And I want you to know that this is very important to me. I also want you to know that if you persevere in this effort, the quality of your performance will follow suit. Don't blow smoke. Here are the action items for this week's lesson. There are 4 of them. Review the situations in which employee behavior is especially important to your organization's success and the behavior you expect from employees in those situations. Number 2, pick one of those situations and schedule time to observe employees' performance, to measure their behavior using your expectations as the standard. Number 3, when you see evidence that employees are making good faith efforts to do the things you expect them to do, even if the quality of their performance isn't so good, express your appreciation and regard for their willingness to try. And number 4, you might even let them know that trying new things requires courage, the willingness to risk making mistakes, and you see that as an example of heroic behavior. Remember also that completing these action items is a huge step in maximizing the value of this program, and I again encourage you to do so.